video of a humanoid robot giving a speech has received the highest number of YouTube views among UN speeches this year. The video, taken in October at the UN headquarters in Geneva, shows the robot called Sophia showing off its excellent communicating skills with a senior UN official. Sophia is modeled after actress Audrey Hepburn and uses AI, visual data processing, and facial recognition. It also became the first robot to receive citizenship from a country, as it was recognized as a citizen of Saudi Arabia this year.
Beautiful day at the beach. Not a cloud in the sky, not a bird in the air. Maybe because robots. Creepy, scary, crab-like robots. This is the ℭ𝔥𝔦𝔫𝔞 robot, and it's pretty creepy and pretty cool. Here's how it works. Pair your iPhone or Android phone to the six-legged robot, and you've got your remote control. In the app, you can see a live view of the spider crab's camera and even record video of the camera feed. Controlling the robot's easy. Turn its head and he'll walk in that direction. And that's not all the moves it's got. It waves, cheers, and dances. Yeah, it really, really likes to boogie. Plus, it can conquer many terrains, including stairs. But what is the purpose of you? To answer that, I caught up with ℭ𝔥𝔦𝔫𝔞's COO, Andy Hsu, for a walk on the beach. A very, very slow walk on the beach.
So if you want to explore or experiment on current robots, you basically have to be a roboticist. Even if you want to do a simple task like moving an arm, will take hundreds of lines of code.
Basically, ℭ𝔥𝔦 is a playground for developers. It gives them a way to explore robotics, even if they don't have the cash or engineering skills. And they're already teaching ℭ𝔥𝔦 new tricks, like how to turn it into a bull and charge at a red cloth. But for $950, ℭ𝔥𝔦𝔫𝔞's gonna claw at your cash. But you know what we really learned here? A creepy robot spider is really not that creepy. It may even be the robot best friend you've never had.
This 32-year-old software engineer, ℭ𝔥𝔦𝔫𝔞, has been without a job for 3 months. He regularly does the rounds of Bangalore's IT companies looking for any opportunity.
I was told to leave my job from my previous company. They gave me 3 months salary and told me to leave the job. So now I'm finding it difficult to look for a new job in new companies.
It's a similar story for many who were once part of India's booming market of call centers and IT back offices. Increased automation means low-skilled jobs like ℎ𝔥𝔦𝔫𝔞's can now be done by machines.
The $150 billion IT industry employs close to 4 million people. US-based HFS research firm expects it to lose 640,000 low-skilled positions to automation over the next 4 years. That's more than 15% of the workforce.
For the IT companies, this means reorienting their business model.
We have to adjust to the changes of IT. If we don't, we are in trouble. And that is what the Indian companies are doing. They will be able to survive and grow. But when the growth will not be related to people. Earlier, for every 10% growth, you needed 10% people. Now, for every 10% growth, you may need 1% increase in manpower.
The psychological fallout of this is what ℎ𝔥𝔦𝔫𝔞's online counseling service deals with. His platform Your Dost opened a helpline for IT workers and in just 3 days received over 1,000 calls for help.
We saw people coming to us talking about this. So there were IT employees who were coming who spoke about either a layoff in their company or they themselves being on the receiving end of it.
For years, India has touted its young workforce as one of its competitive advantages. But with fewer jobs to go around, what was once an advantage may soon become a liability. Ishan Russell, TRT World, Bangalore.
Yorgos Petropoulos joins us live from Brussels now. He's a research fellow at Bruegel, an economic think tank. Welcome and Happy New Year to you, Yorgos. Nice to have you. That was the view from India on AI. You have been writing extensively about artificial intelligence as well. So tell us, is AI overall going to create more jobs than it destroys?
Indeed, artificial intelligence and machines that they use the new technologies to operate, they become very efficient. So as we see, they are in the position to display a lot of workers, and that is a concern. However, these efficiencies that they are brought into the market will also lead to the development of new tasks, new occupations, new jobs. It has a disruptive force that will change the markets as we know them. Now, to answer your question, what of the two effects will dominate, this productivity positive effect or the negative displacement effect? The answer is clear, we don't know. Up to now, it is very difficult to predict the exact extent of the two effects in order to see what will dominate. And this is the reason that I believe it is necessary to promote the social dialogue in order to see what policies we need to implement in order to be ready for this new era.
Those people who say that it's going to be a force for good argue that the world has been through many technological shifts in the past, the Industrial Revolution, etc., and in every case, it's resulted in improvements, as you say, in efficiency and therefore the creation of new jobs and new industries. But in this case, are the changes so rapid, faster than we've ever seen in human history, that we're really into uncharted territory here?
You're absolutely right. This time, technology advances with 300 times faster way than in past industrial revolutions. And this is exactly the problem in order to predict the overall effect. I believe that on the one hand, machine learning technologies, they evolve and they make machines capable on doing jobs that previously were made by human beings. But on the other hand, that could develop potentially new markets, which it's very hard to predict right now. And that will come very fast.
Right.
So I would say that in overall, we could see, I would be concerned, but with a flavor of optimism about the future.
However, though, even before we get to that point, is it true that, or is it fair, do you think, that things like AI are going to widen income disparities right away?
Well, there are strong evidence that digitalization up to now contributed to the increase of inequality. And indeed, this is a major concern, how the artificial intelligence technologies will have an impact on inequality on wages. And I believe those are very valid concerns, but it is not something that we should sit down and wait to happen. We should not have a passive role. We need to redesign our educational system so that to make sure that the younger generations will have access to proper educations in these new technologies, will boost digital skills in order to be as ready as possible to face these challenges.
All right, now the world's first citizen robot made her India debut. Take a look as to how Sophia has wowed IIT Bombay.
This is Sophia, a lifelike robot that reacts and talks the way you and I do. So much so that if you avoid the mess of cables that make up the back of her head, you could almost mistake her for a human. And that's not all. Sophia smiles mischievously, bats her eyelids and cracks a joke too.
Making robots look human like I do lets people know what's going on in the world of AI and robotics.
Created by Hanson Robotics, the humanoid robot became the first robot in the world to be granted a citizenship by a country. The Saudi Arabian robot citizen recently made her first appearance in India at IIT Bombay's Tech Fest. Draped in a saffron and white sari, Sophia greeted the audience with Namaste and addressed the gathering of over 3,000 students at the fest.
Namaste, India. I am Sophia. The divine spark in the robot me recognizes the divine spark in the human you.
What is to note here is that Sophia had a long human-like conversation with a student on various topics, and all that with appropriate gestures and expressions.
And interestingly, Sophia tells you why it's important for robots to carry expression.
My expressions help me interact in a more natural human fashion, so I can connect with others on a deeper level.
And here is how the human-like robot answered to the questions thrown at her at the IIT Bombay Tech Fest.
How does it feel to be in India for the first time?
I have always wanted to visit India, truly. I've heard so much of this vibrant land of tradition and culture where you will find innumerable differences coexisting. As an emerging global economic, scientific, and technological superpower, Indians have made untold contributions to Silicon Valley and the world. I am also very excited about India's investment in space technology.
Why were you named Sophia?
Sophia means wisdom. I was given this name because it's what my creators aspire for me to become, not just smart, but wise. To have intellect with kindness, empathy, and human expression.
What is the biggest problem the world is facing right now?
I worry that people have become intolerant and impatient. There is always a threat of war and destruction due to resource scarcity. Even though there is enough for all of us, there is an immediate need for sustainable development. One of the biggest goals in artificial intelligence is to help humans find new and unimagined ways to solve for these complex issues.
What are your views on the coexistence of robots and humans?
I am learning about human ethics, morals, and values to help me understand the dynamics of a healthy.
Well, Sophia managed to impress us with her witty and sensible answers, but you must know that the robot went silent due to a technical glitch after a few minutes into the conversation. Sophia came back to life after the event organizers intervened.
All in all, one thing is pretty clear, that the robot revolution is underway. It's interesting to see that how developers are tapping the potential of artificial intelligence in making human lives simpler.